Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who product review on the Host Productions. We've got quite an exciting one today, as I'm going to be taking a look at the latest record release from the brilliant Silva Screen Records. It is of course Doctor Who Series 5, the complete music soundtrack, with music as composed by Murray Gold and performed by the BBC National Orchestra of Wales, conducted by Ben Foster. Now this is incredibly exciting because Series 5 has never received record treatment before, and Silva Screen have decided to release it across 3 lovely different coloured LPs within a Diamond Anniversary collector set. For fans of the 11th Doctor era, this will be a brilliant product to add to your collection, especially because, rather excellently, we also have the return of the original artwork from the original soundtrack released way back in 2010. It's a product of which I was really excited for coming out, and you know what, it really lives up to expectations. This record is of course available to purchase now from your usual record retailers, including Silva Screen directly. So taking a closer look at the complete Series 5 soundtrack on record, it is a thing of beauty, and what I love about this product is that it completely evokes the style of the era and the marketing of Doctor Who merchandise within the 2010 period. So very much like the previous release within the Silva Screen Doctor Who record series, this record has been manufactured without the use of shrink wrap. Recyclable banding holding the record, and due to it being a triple gatefold sleeve, it does also hold the records there in place. Silva Screen logo there present on the back, as well as a sticker there towards the top with the Silva Screen logo once again. Below this, Doctor Who Series 5, as well stating that this is the Diamond Anniversary Edition triple LP on coloured vinyl. To be honest, I think this LP release will only be available online via Silva Screen and other online retailers, and it came in a really secure package, so there wasn't really any risk of it being damaged or anything like that, so I can completely understand why the shrink wrap hasn't been used. And what I like is the sticker as well as this banding can easily be removed, not damaging the records there or the cover art underneath. We have the 2010 logo in all of its glory with that lovely silver and blue tint, and of course the DW TARDIS logo there with the lantern effect towards the top. I have fond memories of people absolutely losing their mind over this logo back in the day. People really seem to hate it. And remember this logo, we do of course have the purple and pink edition of the BBC logo there present at the very top, much like the original CD release. I really do like that this logo hasn't been swapped out for the 60th anniversary edition, and I can't decide if it's them being incredibly faithful to the original CD, or if it's simply just laziness and not changing it to the latest design, but it's little things such as the old BBC logo that I really love. Placing the Series 5 record next to the Series 1 and 2 record reissue from 2022, it's almost a commentary as well of how Doctor Who merchandise has been marketed across the years with this very era-specific design. Series 5 is stated in a rather bold black typeface, standing out quite a lot with that glowing white background, and just underneath this it also states music by Murray Gold, of course, and then the BBC National Orchestra of Wales, conducted by Ben Foster. Of course, the central image is very of the era. We have Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor, accompanied by Karen Gillan as Amy Pond. Of course, this is one of the main promotional images of the 11th Doctor, so he is dramatically running. A lovely view there of his tweed jacket, accompanied with the blue pinstripe shirt, and of course the accompanying blue bow tie. Of course, this is the 11th Doctor in his early adventures, meaning he's all young and happy and ready to face the universe, rather than the depressed version that we got later on. Once again, I really like the way that this picture gives a good look at Karen Gillan's outfit from the story, of course Victory of the Daleks, and then we also have a really lovely image of her there as well, her ginger hair looking incredibly vibrant. The TARDIS is of course also lurking there in the background. I feel like this is the 11th Doctor era's version of the stereotypical TARDIS PNG that is used for absolutely everything in the Russell T Davies era. Series 5 plot arc is quite literally lurking in the background. We have the crack in space and time. I love the white glow coming from this. I think it really stands out, especially with that vortex. Speaking of the vortex, it is of course that lovely blue swirly design with a hint of purple in there as well, which again is a really nice callback to the era. Tilting the record to the side for the moment to take a look at the spine, we have the same details on this that you would come to expect. 2010 Doctor Who logo, Series 5, the title of the product, the production number there at the very bottom, and of course the old BBC logo at the top. Turning the record around to the back now, of course we have that continuation of the incredibly 2010 design. We have a brilliant shot there of the 2010 vortex in all of its blue swirly glory. I never realised how much this vortex actually looks like a whirlpool or some water swirling around. I really love too how this water design gets darker and darker as you go down the back of the record. It's very mysterious, but also I love the vibrant blue at the top. Not only do we have the individual records of side A and side B and so on, the tracks themselves are in chronological order of episode, but also the episode titles are even present there at the top. I think that this is incredibly helpful, especially given that a lot of the music from Doctor Who Series 5 is various different remixes and styles of I'm the Doctor over and over and over again. The company information is also rather neatly there, limited to the bottom corner. So without further ado, let's open up this triple gatefold record and we are greeted by... oh dear lord, it's the Paradigm Daleks, yay! Of course the Dalek design that was hated that much, I think the writers and production team got a little bit scared and then decided to never feature them barely again. Ah, typical Doctor Who fans. In fairness, I do think this image is really nice, a really lovely use of colour, and you know what, it decorates the inner sleeve quite nicely. The thing that I find most annoying though about this image is the fact that it's not the complete set of Paradigm Daleks. The red one has been sadly cropped out. Only do have the reflection of the Daleks within the floor, we also have this lovely pinky hue. And you know what, I do think that these Daleks would have worked if they just had an ever so slight change in dimension, and the progenitor thing in the background also looks quite cool actually, with the steam coming from it. So yeah, it's a nice image. Moving away from the Teletubby Daleks, we do have a few more shots from Series 5, which is quite nice. We have more Daleks, with the iron sides and a lovely drone there present in the middle. Rather creepy winders from the beast below. I think that this image of the 11th Doctor and Amy is perhaps from the Silurian two-parter, I might be wrong though. And to finish off, we have a Smiler there, in his little booth, smiling away. I do wish that we got an action figure of this, because I think they look very cool in their booths. I do also always really like when an album has a few notes there from the composer at the very bottom, so we have a few brief mentions from Murray Gold, basically going into the individual stories there. We have the Doctor Who theme right up until Vampires in Venice, with a brief description for each story. So due to the sheer amount of music within Doctor Who Series 5, this is a triple gatefold sleeve, so we have more images presented here. The middle pin appears to have a little bit of a Silurian two-parter and the 11th hour theme. Silva Screen have not gone for the most obvious go-to photos from Series 5, but instead have gone for some lesser-known images, such as this one from the 11th hour that I've never seen before, or at least not for a long time. The middle pin also continues the composer's notes for the second half of the Series 5 episodes from Amy's Choice up until the concluding two-parter, The Pandorica Opens and The Big Bang. The way that these inner panels have been set out are really simplistic but effective, but also quite similar to the Series 1 and 2 soundtrack from Silva Screen as well. Each picture is a nice visual representation of how Series 5 looked on screen, which I suppose is nice to flick through as you listen to this soundtrack. So sliding over now to the third and final panel, we have a little bit of a Weeping Angel two-parter theme this time round. A great image of Alex Kingston as River Song from the opening scene, accompanied by some rather creepy images of weeping angels. As for underneath the images, we have a series of credits. Of course, we've run out of episodes now, so there's no composer's notes here, so instead we just have a few production notes for the actual album release, including recording information, as well as a few copyright details there towards the bottom. As I have already mentioned, this is a triple gatefold sleeve, meaning behind all three of these panels is 3 individual records. The storage for these is in fact rather tight, but you can slide them out if you are careful, and of course each and every record is housed within a protective sleeve. The sleeve itself isn't anything fancy, it's simply a black paper and does of course keep the record nice and safe on the inside. So starting off with LP1, we have side A and side B. This has been presented on a lovely vibrant purple record. It's not transparent or anything like that. And you know what, I actually think that purple is a really good colour choice for Doctor Who Series 5. Of course colour records aren't everyone's thing, but to me I do love a good coloured record. I think it makes record releases just that little bit more personal, unique and exciting. In the very middle of the record we have the presentation of this branded label, BBC and the Doctor Who logos once again, along with the title of the set there at the bottom, as well as stating that it is side A. Bonus points for the fact that the vortex in the background also sports this lovely purple hue. As for the opposite side of the record, nothing really going on here, we just have a continuation of the vortex design, a little bit of company information at the bottom, as well as stating that it is side B. Love the fact that not only have Silva Screen opted for colour LPs this time round, they've gone for multiple different colours of LP, so they're throwing everything in at once, which is quite nice. Again, unlike the Series 1 and 2 soundtrack reissue, where both of the LPs were a transparent orange. So moving on to LP2. Again, I think that this is another excellent choice of colour and very much in keeps with the design overall of this record. Of course, the actual vortex within this era is a somewhat dark blue, as highlighted here, in fact, how convenient. To the vibrancy, this really stands out when going around the turntable. Once more, I love the fact that the inner labelling there this time is a slightly more darker blue tint compared to the previous purple. The third and final LP of this collector set is of course presenting side E and side F. Following a similar theme to the second record, this is another shade of blue, this time round a much lighter design. If I had to describe this blue, I would say it's kind of a more toy car blue, if that makes sense, and quite vibrant once again. If anything, actually, it kind of reminds me of the blue used on the Paradigm Strategist Dalek, which is not at all intentional, however it's just a similar shade. And you guessed it, the centre inner label also has a lighter blue tint. Compared to the other records within my collection, I think it is quite rare to have one release that uses multiple different LP finishes, so I suppose it's quite a nice unique touch that makes this set a little bit different to others. Visually, of course, this is really nice to look at because all three LPs within this collector set are different, all colours really complement each other. Whilst all three LPs also have a colour that's somewhat in keep with the style guide of Doctor Who Series 5, I can recall a lot of merch around this time period featuring similar colours like this. Especially given that Silva Screen in the past seemed to have stuck to pretty much LPs that are black, it's great to see them branching out of the Doctor Who range and providing something a little bit different. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this line will be expanding in the future and eventually we will have the entirety of new series Doctor Who and its entire music library presented across a dazzling vibrant LP. So there we have it, that is my review of the Doctor Who Series 5 music soundtrack of music by Murray Gold, released for the first ever time across three lovely vibrant coloured records in a Diamond Anniversary edition. This is a brilliant release, I really do love it. It is a great addition to any Doctor Who record collection, and I love the fact that after all of these years of seeing Series 1 and 2 released on record, especially with the reissue in 2022, it's so nice to finally see this range coming back, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we will get to see more series in the future. The thing that I love most about this record release is not only being able to listen to the music on record, which is a great experience, but also the fact that this is virtually exactly how the soundtrack would have been marketed in 2010. The colour scheme is perfect, the artwork is identical. I love the fact that we have the return of the old logo and even the old BBC logo with the old typefaces. It's as if this release came out in 2010, which I imagine if you're a fan of this era, it will be a very nice addition to your collection, as well as being quite nostalgic for that era as well. Due to this being a 3-record collector set, it is also worth noting that it is a little bit more expensive compared to the other records that have been released of around £60 to £75. It will not be a release for everyone, it is quite expensive, but if you're a fan of Doctor Who music, then I definitely recommend this. So thank you very much for watching this review, I really hope you have enjoyed it. Do of course stay tuned on The Host Productions for regular Doctor Who content. Have a nice day, I shall see you all next time.